Hello you guys, so welcome back to my video. Today we will talk about how to make a leopard using charcoal. Now a lot of people are very hesitant on how to use charcoal because first it's so messy. It can get messy. Second is it's very dark. What you have to important first is when working with charcoal, you don't really have to use charcoal in all the parts. As you could see, I'm only blocking the darkest part with the charcoal and I'm leaving the rest untouched, because when you smudge your charcoal it will definitely put some powders on the areas that are supposed to be lighter than the darker tone. So it's actually very easy to work with charcoal. All you have to do is use three tools. I only use a paintbrush, my soft charcoal pencil, and a blending stump. That's it. So as you can see, all I'm doing here is I'm blocking all the darker parts of the leopard, which is the spots, and I just use a paintbrush to smudge and smoothen out everything. And while doing that, it already puts a shade, a very light shade, on the areas that has no charcoal, because charcoal powder can easily be spread, and using a paintbrush is a very easy tool to actually spread out your charcoal powder and create that lighter tone but still very smoother tone on the rest of the body of your subject. Other people uses cotton buds. I do like cotton buds, but not for skin or for any body type, because cotton buds leave a mark, that roundy edgy mark. However, a paintbrush creates this smooth coverage on the entire surface, which doesn't give you any rough, harsh edges. So if you notice, I only use the paintbrush on the body itself, but on the rest of the piece I use my blending stump, and I think I also use a little bit of cotton buds here for a Q-tip, rather. For those who are not familiar with cotton buds, but a Q-tip, I use it for my background. But for the body itself, I only use blending stump for the spots and a lot of paintbrush, just to get some of those powder off. And as you can see, how do we make this portrait pop up? You just have to make sure that the background is really dark. It will give you different values. However, if you notice, I only work in one section at a time, because charcoal can get a little bit messy, so I don't want to work on all different areas and have my entire hands all black because of charcoal. So you could work with one section at a time and polish that section, then work on your way to the next part, because this is not watercolor. You don't have to wait for it to dry. You'll just have to make sure that everything is well blended. So make sure that in charcoal your values is very important. If you want your main subject to pop up in a charcoal like this one, you need to make sure that your background is dark enough and that you have the right shadows. It's always about the light and shadows. In this one, what makes my cat or my leopard pop up is the casting of the darker values on the background. Now, some people don't have a Tombow mono eraser for charcoal, or they also don't have anything like similar to a kneadable eraser. That's okay. What I use in this one is my regular Faber-Castell eraser. I actually cut it into a very small piece, which is very funny, but I cut it into a really small piece, which allows me to create that leaves transition. And so it's like a DIY eraser, but it works fine with feathers and with leaves as well. So